touch it briefly about how you would integrate the spiritual component into their new approach to healing?
Well, number one, I think spirituality is part of life. I mean, I don't think that anyone will deny that we are gregarious people. We need interaction with other people. And usually we interact with people of like-mindedness. So that's really a spiritual approach. But there's also a spiritual approach that goes beyond that, that goes to the level of, you know, what happens in your life when you lose a loved one? You know, have you dealt with the grief? And what happens with a traumatic episode that occurred when you were 5 or 6 or 10 or 12 years old? So I think spirituality and medicine are one and the same. I think in the medieval days, in the mid-1600s, we put spirituality in a world called psychiatry, and we put medicine in a world called physiology and anatomy. But today, I think we know that the mind and body are interrelated. They're one. Their mind and body are connected. They may be connected at a superficial level, but spirituality is about bringing back into medicine a spiritual approach to healing. And I think that the major thing that we do in the spiritual approach to medicine is we incorporate the mind and the body, and we believe that by quieting your mind, you're going to improve the physiology of your body. Example, it's been shown categorically that meditators, if they get an illness, let's say a heart attack, they live more vigorous lives than non-meditators do. So meditation is really a spiritual approach to healing. And meditation balances the central nervous system with the physiology of the body. There's a whole field of medicine called psycho, neuro, endocrine, immunology. It was first described in 1982 by Candace Pert, where a thought creates a chemical change in your brain that travels through the central nervous system to the endocrine system, and that affects your immune system. That's pretty complex, but that's really what spirituality is about. It's about balancing the mind and body. And don't think for 1 minute that just because you don't believe in an afterlife or God or universal consciousness or whatever word you want to use for a higher presence, don't think for 1 minute that you can't bring spirituality into your life, because one of the major components of life in all of the spiritual teachings of the world, it's if we could bring peace and love back into the world, we would be healthier, more balanced as creatures in this world. Human beings are the only creature in the universe that the universe can do without. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but you know, we're the ones that created the greenhouse effect. It's not the buffalo that created the greenhouse effect, it's us. So if we bring spirituality back into medicine, it's about recognizing that we're responsible for what happens on Earth. We're responsible for our environment. We're responsible for contaminating the waters, the air, etc. And those are spiritual approaches to healing that affect you. The children in Los Angeles are suffering from lung problems that they shouldn't have because we don't pay attention to the spiritual approach to healing. So we have a responsibility. And that's what we believe in integrative medicine. When it's personalized, you bring spirituality back into medicine. And it's not just about the physical body, it's about the mind and the body as one unit. And for those of us that do believe in God, it's about God consciousness or universal consciousness, or whatever name you want to call togetherness. And the principle of love thy neighbor as thyself is a principle that we all need to live by.